Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom finally arrives next month, but I haven't been keeping up with all the news. The game always felt just a little too far away to get invested. And if you feel the same, this video is for you. So we're going to be getting into that deep dive, checking out all the trailers, all the information, and even if you think you're caught up, maybe it's worth watching just to make sure we are all ready for this game release. Comment your thoughts down below if there's anything I missed, if there's anything you're excited for. Also, leave a like, share it with your friends. Let's get ready. Let's get excited because, my goodness, there is all kinds of insane stuff going on. And the cool thing is, with the recent gameplay demo, which I have not seen, or I did not see until making this video, like, a lot of it was there. And it was already cool and set up. But then it all comes together in a pretty crazy way. And we can see it's just better Breath of the Wild. And that's also why I haven't paid too much attention. Like, do you need more? Breath of the Wild was incredible, and it's just more of that. But, you know, learning from the open world, learning about what made the experience great, and then kind of going into it more and more. All these birds and all these things in the wild, just all this cool stuff going on. Hey, look at that, we got a nice little outpost. Hey, beetles over there. And then there's, like, a construction site. So it's like these little extra details. It's more Breath of the Wild. That's pretty cool. And then we're going to see like how all of this gameplay interacts, and the possibilities just get way too crazy. So know about the Sky Islands. It's kind of like a big deal with what's going on, and some kind of rock falling down. That's weird. So there we go. Stamina bar, just kind of making your way, adventuring around, getting from point A to point B, however you feel, and then we can go up this. But we've already seen that, so yeah. Pay attention to the top left right here. We can see we have, like, our abilities. Instead of our Sheikah Slate, we have this gauntlet-looking thing and all these symbols that kind of line up into it. So a lot of really cool, like, attention to detail. And then we just head up through it. But we've seen this before. September 13th. 2022, official trailer number 1. So for those of you who have watched the recent gameplay demo, this is worth a rewatch because it all makes sense. You're just like, oh wait, there's that thing. Oh, that's how that thing works. And you don't have to watch it on Nintendo because we're going to be watching it right here. There it is. If you were wondering, like, what is going on over here? Like, that's how we get to the Sky Islands. But wait, huh? That's so strange. Well, now we know. We just reverse time on one of those things, and then we get up, or we can just kind of glide down. Or there's crazy flying contraption-y things. We can also make flying machines, and that was shown in a trailer. Official trailer number 2, February 8th, as a part of the Nintendo Direct, so 2 months ago, and then just kind of following up with more gameplay, more details, and we can see all of it come together. So we have the Bokoblin camp, we have mining, so one thing to take into consideration are the features that are returning, of course. Like, yeah, there's gonna be, like, gems, everything core Breath of the Wild is there, and then upgraded and has, like, crazy interactions and way more going on. Some crazy looking boss, that's gonna be one awesome fight. Mysterious little swirly things going on. The blood moon is back and it's crazier than ever. We're also listening to, like, the weird freaky music in the background. It's just more intense, more hardcore Breath of the Wild. You might be tired of me saying that, but I'm saying it for my own, like, hype. Like, it's just going to be better, and there's all these little details to point out, and now, like, just this intense exploration going on, more just craziness going on with the enemies and, like, all these weird things, and raid leaders, and more enemy interactions, and then you just go and glide off into this crazy world, and challenges, and, like, the overworld bosses, and that from the reveal, that's just crazy and insane. And then these Sky Islands and, like, different region areas even in the sky, and then you can just kind of fall down into the world, glyphs to explore. Wait a second, we're gonna learn about how that worked, aren't we? That's kind of neat. And then, oh, rails, minecart stuff, spinning around. Oh, that's another detail where, like, if you've watched the gameplay, there's fusing. That you get to fuse items, and, like, you can fuse some kind of automata part onto a stick and make a hand cannon, but it's like a stick cannon. And then playing into the gauntlet for the story, we have what looks like magnesis, but is actually different. Flying contraption, another flying contraption. So people making flying machines in base Breath of the Wild was like just Breath of the Wild 1, I guess, was really cool. But now it's the point of the game, and those details are there. The little glue that holds it all together. The pieces you find and the little, like, machines and stuff you build. That's why I said, like, this trailer kind of also ties it back in together, even though it was, you know, a couple months ago. Now we see the falling pieces. We see more areas to explore, enemies. Like, we knew it was going to be crazy, but then this brings it like, oh, this is just, it's just going to be like how Breath of the Wild was one of the best games ever. This is just better. So recall, you're going to be able to do all kinds of time interactions. You can stop it at these breakpoints. So if you need to get, there's my stop, I want to get off there and glide around or do something. You also have the full timing of it, and then all these different areas that are connected to, like, these little islands in the sky, and then a larger region area looking thing. Other details to note, we have our map, which shows coordinates, and we also have a height coordinate. So we get up there, 529. Okay. And then some other things that are, like, interactable through certain other scenes. And then just kind of taking it all in for this outrageous open world. And then as we explore through this, it looks more like a region. It's a complete area, not just like a one-off little island to explore like we've seen in the other trailers. And now the gameplay starts to come together. So it's like, ah, cool, scavenge your own thing, little bits of crafting. That was like the fun elements of the open world in Breath of the Wild. We have, oh, an enemy that's trying to bash us in the head with a stick. Well, we can bash it back. And, oh, dude, look at, man, just the triggering right there where it's like your tree branch is damaged, it broke. That was just a couple of swings and we didn't even take out the enemy. Weapon durability is gonna suck, man. Oh, but we staggered him, so we steal his tree branch. We get, like, other tree branches back. And, you know, combat, it's there again. Oh, item drops. So we got new things to check out. Zonai Charge and a Construct Horn. But now this is where, like, the game upgrades. Like, okay, the weapon durability I'm fine with because Fusion is in the game. You can just pull out the item. And then, as you can see right up here, with our little gauntlet power, we have a fusion ability, and there's even more to it. It's where we can take our shield. We can take other things that we have, our equip, our items, and then we can choose what we want to combine with the boulder or other interactable objects in the area. And now we got an upgrade. So +2 attack, the stick going from 2 to 4 with the boulder fusion, also adding durability. And now we can go and club multiple enemies. So, like, showing these interactions and showing the upgrades, and just, like, now the inspiration, the imagination goes to the next level. Like, what do we fuse? What do we do? It's gonna be insane. Now we got, like, a wooden stick instead of a branch. So you KO that, and then you can upgrade the branch many times. And that's what we're gonna watch throughout the rest of this, like, gameplay. That just keeps on going. More items, more cores, more weaponry. This construct horn, so into crafting or also fusion. And then, yeah, I want that. I want to make a big pitchfork, and then you can. So getting even more, like, weapon damage added in, and that is open world to the fullest. That is what made Breath of the Wild so enjoyable. It's like, oh wait, I can do anything. And now Skyrim players or other open world gamers, like, yeah, you can do anything. But when it was, like, the first for the Nintendo, and just so well done for the first time with Breath of the Wild, like, now it's just taken to the next level. The fusion, you can just fuse anything and make whatever stupid nonsense you want. And that thing didn't even stand a chance. You have more strength, more range, and now we get to see these interactions. So, Korok Frond. We don't see this used, but we see it added in. So maybe it gets a wind effect. Maybe it's, like, stealth as, like, a leaf if you're in bushes, so it's harder to detect. We don't get to see exactly how that works, but attachment to... You have your inventory. You can just attach anything in your inventory for an effect for your weaponry. And that's getting my brain going. Like, what is possible? What insanity can you cook up? What items do you want to farm? Where it's like, well, if I get a lot of these, you actually get to craft your own playstyle. And I hope that the playstyle is so free that you don't even need, like, a meta to it, where it's like, oh, you just only do this and you only do that. But no, if you want to have, like, a more range playstyle, more melee playstyle, if you want to do, like, really cool and cheeky things, like, whatever you like, you can just spec into. And it's not even like a spec tree, it's just those items and those interactions. So the Ice Chew Jelly, it freezes the enemy, and now you have an ice arrow. And that's actually kind of the cool thing. I also maybe hope that, like, there's not the direct arrow crafting, and it's just, you just have that. Like, there's your arrow that you're making right there on the spot. Or you can maybe, like, preload a couple of the already fused ones. And then this is the part that we saw from the trailer. And it's kind of done in a fun kind of way because, you know, trying to shoot down birds or moving enemies that are kind of far away. Now, he's yanking these shots on purpose, but kind of like capturing that frustration where it's like, ah, my weapon broke. Ah, the thing here. But you put an eyeball on the arrow, and now it becomes a homing attack. Oh, that's so good. Oh, it's so satisfying. You love it. Oh, so much opportunity. You even get like a nice little attack up when it happens too, and it has range. Like, it's just going to lock onto something from whatever distance, and then it's going to be easier to shoot. And it's also kind of weird because normally if something's homing, it kind of has a drawback. Not that. It seemed like it got range power. That's kind of neat. And then we're also seeing like you can fuse anything. A wooden shield and a mushroom? Yeah, you'd be weird if you didn't think you could fuse those. Oh, and it sets a spore trap, and it creates a smoke cloud that blinds the enemies and sets up for a perfect backstab. Oh, it's gonna be so cool because, like I said, I just see this from like a gameplay, personal play style. You can do whatever you want, but also the farming. I really like farming and grinding, like in Minecraft and RuneScape and stuff like that. So if I could just do something where it's like, oh, I can make this cheesy weapon, go to this cheesy area with these enemies, get just a ton of items and resources, and then use that to kind of like augment into some kind of crazy spec I want. Yeah, that's gonna be great. And now we can bounce back to the other trailer once again to kind of see that all the enemies have some kind of like weaponry attached to them. You know, this horn is actually a sword, and that's going to be like another piece that you can use to fuse into things. And that's what we see with this right here, where it's like, all right, we have the soldier construct horn. There's going to be other horns and other weaponry that seems to be just like attached with these different-ish kind of mobs. And remember, the core gameplay of Breath of the Wild is there, so there's going to be like these weird encampments. We saw like the stone giant have a bokoblin camp on it, and then you can just make a log, and then you can just scoop up a rock, and then now you got a rock shield and a log, and you're just kind of hanging out. And then contraptions. So we've seen the contraptions, and then the question is like, how do you make the contraptions? How does it come together? That's going to be with another ability. So here we can see it coming together where you just pick up an interactable object, and that's also where you can see these things in the background. They glow as if they can be interacted with. This is also why I think like it's not magnesis that was showed in the other trailer, where it's because it had like the same thing where you have the orangish reddish color kind of emanating out with the effect where you're like tethering and moving something around. You can just kind of do it with anything that seems to be a free object. But this looks like that block thing we landed on, so it goes even further and deeper, and now you get to stick things together and make whatever you want. And then we get the reveal of what it's called, and it's called the Ultrahand. I wish they called it the Power Glove, but maybe that's just like our gauntlet item, I don't know. And you can see that like you can choose a piece, break it apart with like enough tension or enough force, and then you can kind of reshape it however you want. The freedom, the complete freedom to just mash whatever you want together and turn into something. I can't wait to see the outrageous contraptions that people make inside of Legend of Zelda. Who would have thought? That is so cool. And then, oh, we have like these little engines. Once again, we saw the engines being used in the previous trailer for the flying machine. So you can just find these pieces, move them around. I wonder if there's gonna be something like truly insane where someone takes some kind of contraption, moves it to another area that has like different pieces of the contraption, and then just kind of like pulls it around, like just grabs these parts that maybe weren't expected to be made together from different parts of the world, and then actually making something even more insane with it. So that's a fan, and you can use it to fly. So like, yo, that's puzzle. That's definitely puzzle material. Well, you find one of those, you move it somewhere, and then you fly up to a higher area if you need to. The barrels are interactable, more logs, so you can make it even bigger. It has a battery system, so by not using it, it recharges, which means like that's going to be a thing. There's also batteries. We see that in the trailers. The official trailer number 2, we see this right here. So eventually you just get into the insane upgrades where like you can build a car, and you can make that car look however you want with all the wood pieces lying around. Guess it's Legos. It's Breath of the Wild Legos, dude. Oh my god. Headlights. Why? Who cares? Whatever hot air balloon floating contraption you want. Oh, it's gonna be so cool. And this is on top of the already incredible base Breath of the Wild gameplay. and then you just whack it, and now you got it. You can just swim along, make your own thing, and that's kind of like the puzzle. And this is gonna be really, like, yeah, there's just so much cool stuff going on. Other enemies, so more farming potential, more specialization, and then yeah, they even show, like, there you go, that's all the cool stuff you can make that you've seen before. And then if you look in the background of this, that's going to go into the next part that we see, where like all these things seem to be stacked up in a very deliberate way. So more Sky Island fun stuff. And like, what if you just make something that's all of that at once? So you find environmental wind and you make a sailboat, or you also make a flying machine that can also sailboat in the air. Now, it's worth noting that when these things push up, they drain their, like, small little battery super fast. So I think you are going to need, like, the big one for that, but you can make some absolutely insane stuff, it seems like. And then that's going to be the natural progression of the game, so that's going to be really cool. And now, this. We saw that in the gameplay reveal. Wait, you know what else we saw in the gameplay reveal? Fusion. This game is, like, complete. Man, it's been just perfected for so long to make sure it's the ultimate experience. That we have like this weird head thing that blows fire attached to a shield. It's not a special weapon. You just make that. And then we watch this where it's like, wait, did we just like, I don't even know. We just like dripped up into a sky island. I guess that's how the traveling goes, but not exactly. And maybe that's also kind of like the part that was showed where there was all those like things in the distance kind of stacked up, where that's going to be like a deliberate ascend that you can use. And then the other parts are going to be from like the reverse time, so you got to pay attention to which one you need to use for the situation, or maybe how upgraded it is and what you have unlocked. And now you can just smoosh through any building. And it also applies into caves, and it gets even crazier. So like the traveling and utility of this is going to be like just some wild consideration. And also a cave. And there's other things to point out where it's like, oh, there's a shop down there. Interesting. We also have caves just kind of hanging out. Also, the caves have check marks. Now, if this is anything like Hogwarts Legacy, it's that when you've looted the thing there, it kind of checks off. So maybe every cave has a chest that has like a cool item or some kind of potential gear upgrade that you want to get. And then that's kind of how you can tell if it's explored or not, to find whatever item is here. Also, just like cooking pot, other enemies, harvestable resource of some kind that can now further augment everything you want to do. Or you just ignore that and you swoop up into the cave and just swim through a cave for a while, and now your exploration's even crazier. So if you don't have enough stamina to climb up an area, look for a cave and you get up there anyways. Also on the minimap, we have this blue dot as well as a shop icon with like a pot, and then you can see what looks like some kind of gacha machine, which kind of tracks. Like if there's a shop or a way to exchange currency or do something, it doesn't seem like there's too many people just hanging out in the Sky Islands. So that makes it even cooler, man. I'm gonna spend so many rupees rolling for that. So it looks like an orb that has a slot for other orbs to drop out of with some kind of shop attachment. Oh, it's gonna be neat. Like this game is going to have like every little bit of dopamine and grind and gamerism inside of it. I'm excited. But all good things must come to an end, so we see like this crazy dude that has a stick and a door on it, and then he just says, nah man, you don't belong here, get blasted. So you can also get other effects by attaching things. Like this gives a wind effect because it's just like a large thing that would blow you away, and we get staggered a bit, and then we get staggered so much we can't just kind of like get ourselves back up, and then we glide down. We can also accelerate, and then it just kind of shows off the world, some weird glyphs, some more markings, and like weird purple spots, and just so much to the world, but also more islands and familiar areas that we've seen from Breath of the Wild, because this is still Hyrule. And as long as you land in water, you're okay. And then like we can now take all this that we've learned and look at our surroundings that we've already seen. Like, oh, do we rebuild a castle here? Is that like some NPC thing, or is that going to give us some kind of crazy reward? Why is there a foundation with a sign in front? Do we build a house? Is this for someone else? Is this like build a shop? Is this going to be like mini questy puzzly kind of stuff, or do we build our own home and that becomes a fast travel point? I don't know why we can't just do that for free forever, but maybe we eventually unlock that. And again, we have this weird flying creature that also just has a archer bokoblin under it, and we saw that in one of the trailers, and oh, it all comes together, and boom, we are done here. And again, in the craziest way that it's still Breath of the Wild at its core. So maybe now you can understand why I can't stop saying it's just better Breath of the Wild, because it's all those cool adventures, all those just outrageous moments of throwing a bomb into something and then getting completely exploded, or nuking out an entire bokoblin camp, but taken to the extreme with sky islands and kinds of interactions and abilities and anything you can and want to do. And then you just look around and see, like, everything can be fused and everything can kind of be moved around how you need. I want this dude's sword. What can I add to this sword for, like, some kind of an effect? What can this sword be at the end of to be even crazier? Who even knows? So I want that. And then, oh wait, there's another, like, fan-looking thing back there. Oh yeah, and that. So puzzle shenanigans as well. Classic Zelda. And then, yeah, there's, like, a fan behind here. There's other minecarts. How many of that can be moved around and assembled? We're just shield surfing down this anyways. Remember that? That was how you got around in the first one. I forgot everything. Like, I forgot more than I remember about Breath of the Wild, so you gotta apply that, and then it gets even crazier. So there we go. Hope I didn't miss too much. Like I said, comment your thoughts down below. Comment your observations as well. We're just having a good time, and, like, now's the time to be excited. And it's so good looking that I'm not even mad I missed when this came out, because it's still a month until we actually have the release of the game. So I just get to take it all in and get ready. And I hope you guys are kind of feeling the same after this video. Like I said, like, comment, share. That YouTube stuff helps more than you can ever imagine, especially if you appreciate the video, my content. Now is Breath of the Wild time. Like, we go all in, and I think it's going to be just well paced out. Now we can just kind of see all the bits and pieces and so much more. Like, this doesn't show everything, so that makes it even crazier. Like, even this little piece right there, we got some part of a camp with, like, a little tower. We also have a sail. We got some pieces of wood. It's going to be wild. So if you guys enjoy the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.